Hey everyone, welcome back to Tanu Chahar Academy. This is the part 2 of our vocabulary series where we are covering the previous year questions from CDS and NDA examinations. Okay, let's be real. My strategy in these videos isn't about memorizing, it's about making words unforgettable through repetition, stories, and connections. I will put in the efforts to make it stick in your mind forever. All you have to do is subscribe. Together, we will master CDS and NDA English guaranteed. Okay, future officers, let's do a quick brain warm up before starting the video. Let's do a fast recall of all the old words which we studied yesterday. The first word was woebegone, that means the sad and miserable look. The second word was disdainful, which means that sneering and superior look. The third word was efficacy, which means the ability of something to work and produce a result. You guys are on fire. Let's jump into today's word, desolated. To make this word stick forever, let's visualize it. Imagine a place that is completely empty. It can be a deserted house, a vast barren landscape. Now imagine feeling that way on the inside. When you feel desolated, you feel completely empty. So, friends, desolated is an adjective that describes a feeling of deep sadness and emptiness. Let's see how we use this word in some sentences. After the storm, the village was desolated landscape of ruined homes. So this is the first sentence, and the second one is she was left with a desolated feeling after the sad news. And the third sentence is he stood on the empty stage feeling completely desolated. So friends, in this video I have included a new section which is about the common mistakes which you have to avoid while using the word desolated. So the first thing is, don't confuse it with the word sad. Desolated is a much more powerful word. It's not just a feeling of sadness, it's a feeling of profound emptiness, like all hope has been lost. And the second thing is about its usage. This word desolated can describe a person or a place. Remember that desolated can describe a feeling, as in this sentence, he felt desolated, or a place, as in a desolated town. Alright, listen up. This is the part that will make these words stick in your memory forever. We are going to connect all our past words to our new word so they all become one big family in your mind. And here is a challenge for you too. Every time an old word comes up in the sentences, I want you to remember its meaning instantly. So let's go. The first word was woebegone, which we studied yesterday. And now I'm using it along with desolated. The feeling of being woebegone is a milder form of being desolated. And our second word was disdainful. A disdainful person might look down on someone who feels desolated, but they don't understand the depth of that sadness. And the third word was efficacy. Now I'm using it in the sentence. Without the efficacy of a good plan, a project can fail, leaving its owner desolated. See how all they link up. Now let's look at the question on the screen. The sentence says he felt desolated after he lost his business. The options are deserted, joyful, strong, and annoyed. The first option, deserted, this means left empty or abandoned. This is the best fit for the context as it captures the sense of profound emptiness and loneliness that defines desolated. The second option, joyful, this is the feeling of great happiness and it's the direct opposite. The C option, strong, this means having great power or influence. This is not related to the feeling of loss. And the fourth option, annoyed, this is the feeling of mild irritation. Losing a business would cause much more than annoyance. In the second question, the underlined word is thrifty. Now let's visualize this word too. Imagine you have a friend who is the master at saving money. They aren't cheap, they are smart. They bring their own lunch to work. They make a detailed shopping list and they never waste anything. They are so careful with their money that they manage to save up for their dream bike. That friend is thrifty. Thrifty is an adjective that describes a person who is very careful with money and other resources. Now let's see how we use this in some sentences. The first sentence is, my grandmother has a thrifty mindset. She always finds a way to save. The second sentence, we decided on a thrifty budget for our road trip to save money. And the third sentence is, his thrifty habits help him to save enough for a new house. Now here is the section which includes common mistakes which you have to avoid while using this word. So don't confuse the word thrift with the cheap. Thrift is a positive word for being smart with money, while cheap on the other hand is usually a negative word for someone who doesn't like to spend money even on things they need. Now this is the time for repetition. Let's repeat our old words and their meanings. So we are using them with the new word thrifty in a sentence. The first sentence is about woebegone. So being woebegone about money can make you adopt thrifty habits. And the second word is disdainful. The opposite of being thrifty is having a disdainful attitude towards saving money. The third sentence is about efficacy. The efficacy of a financial plan depends on your thrifty discipline. Now let's look at the question on the screen. The sentence is Rahul is always thrifty. The options are reckless, economical, naive, and extravagant. The first option, reckless, means you are careless and don't think about consequences. This is the exact opposite of thrifty. The second word, economical, this means you manage money or resources carefully to avoid waste. This is the perfect synonym for thrifty. The third and fourth words, naive and extravagant, are not related to this word and are not the meaning of this word. Now the next word is salubrious. Imagine you are at a hill station, the air is clean, the weather is pleasant, and you just feel healthy. The place is salubrious. So when we talk about salubrious words, we mean that they had a healthy, calming effect on the student's mind. Salubrious is an adjective that means health-giving or promoting good health. Now let's see how we use this word in some sentences. The first sentence is, the salubrious climate of the hills is great for your health. The second one is, after his illness, he moved to a more salubrious location to aid his recovery. The third sentence is, the doctor recommended a salubrious diet to help her get back on her feet. Now, in the next section, we are going to study the common mistakes which you have to avoid while using this word salubrious. You use salubrious to describe things like air, climate, location, or words that have a positive, healthy effect. You wouldn't use it to describe a person directly, like he's a salubrious person. Instead, you would say he has a salubrious lifestyle. Now it's time for repetition. Let's repeat the old words. The feeling of being woebegone can be made better by a salubrious environment. Here we have used the woebegone word. The second word was disdainful. A disdainful attitude is the opposite of the pleasant, healthy feeling a salubrious place gives you. The third sentence is about efficacy. The efficacy of a new medicine is often tied to its salubrious effects on the body. So till here we have used woebegone, disdainful, efficacy for a number of times. And I'm sure that you are able to recall their meanings too. Now look at this question on the screen. It has the sentence, his salubrious words calmed the students. The options are provoking, pleasant, ridiculous, and thanking. Let's break down each one. The first option, provoking, means causing a strong reaction, usually anger. And this is the opposite of salubrious. The second option is pleasant. This means agreeable and enjoyable. This is the best fit for the context. While salubrious meaning health giving, its effect here is pleasant and calming. The third option, ridiculous. This means something is silly or deserving of mockery. This is completely unrelated. And the third one, thanking. This is the act of expressing gratitude. The sentence is describing the effect of the words, not the action of thanking. So the correct answer is B, pleasant, because the effect of the word was agreeable and calming, which is the most fitting synonym here. So that's all for today. But wait, abhi bhago mat, you have to do one more task. Right now in the comments below, write down all the new words which you have learned in this video. Get that repetition started. The most thoughtful and beautiful comments will get a shout out in my next video. Let's make this your community, your learning ground. Now go and start typing. Jai Hind.